Okay. Oh, man. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit of a test run here. See how this goes. Because I may or may not have just gone out of work, and I didn't really want to, like, leak my work uniform. So, I just put on this jacket, which actually kind of works out. It's actually kind of cold tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. And, yeah, we're gonna see what happens. I was just gonna drive around for a little bit and talk about stuff, because I may or may not have forgotten to record on Wednesday, apart from the CD hunting, which evidently nobody cared about. I think because I didn't really make a very good thumbnail for it, and maybe the title wasn't that good either. But especially in terms of in terms of the thumbnail, I did not do the greatest job, and I'm fully willing to admit that. Also, I could have gone into Pokemon Go gyms if I wanted to over here, but I intentionally said, no, you know what, I'm going to record this. So I've had a very interesting week. I've kind of talked a little bit about stuff already. For example, I may or may not have broken my tooth. And I still kind of have not really fixed that yet, because I gotta get insurance stuff fixed, because it's a very awkward timing, and I was like trying to get insurance from work, and it turned out I got the form like months ago, and now I'm like, oh. So that's really cool. So I'm like, I'm going through that. Then I also got like my hands checked out a little bit, and I got steroid cream, which has been kind of helping. Fuck, dude, my windshield's fogging up, and I didn't want this, because it's gonna mean that I need to turn on the defroster, and that is ass for what I assume would be recording for that, because usually I do the double microphone setup. I have the actual phone I'm recording off of down there, and then I have the camera up here, so that way it doesn't pick up a lot of the defroster noise, or, you know, like air conditioner noise or whatever. But it seems that today that's not going to be the case, probably because of, you know, this. Because I think it's probably good if my vision is not impaired, because that's probably what's going to happen eventually. So I could see it's in like the midst of starting, so it's not really bad, but I could see that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So, also, you can't see anything. So, that's good, isn't it? Maybe if this light up here is red, we can fix that. But, we'll see. We'll see. Not gonna waste all my gas like I did the other day, but just drive around for a tiny bit. So, yeah, they've still been sending me home an hour early every night instead of keeping me there till closing, which just pissed me off. But I'm starting to really feel like, man, I just kind of don't give a shit anymore, dude. I'm not trying hard anymore, and it's kind of sad. But I just feel like a lot of the people who are not putting in a shitload of work are getting rewarded, while the people who are putting in a shitload of work are getting, like, disciplined. It's like, what? What kind of... It's just... Shit is so crazy, man. I just can't get it. It's like, how? Like, these people are not doing their work. And the best example of this was yesterday, which was Thursday. I was driving, or I was, I got there at 1:30 because they wanted 3 of us in the deli. So it's like, okay, 3 of us are gonna be in this fucking deli. Alright, whatever. So there I am, in the deli. I get in the deli. My one coworker, she was like the day shift coworker. She comes, and she's like the new person who came back recently. And she was like, "Oh, why are you here?" And I was like, "That's what they scheduled." So she said, "All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna go do some catering then." And I was like, "Okay." So then I was mostly by myself for most of that. I was pretty much just doing it all on my own. But I'm like, all right, you know, my other coworker will come, and surely he won't just immediately, just fucking leave me, right? And he gets there, he's like, "Wait, why are you here?" And I'm like, "They scheduled me." And he says, "All right, well, you know, I'm gonna go upstairs and get supplies then." And he left. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Everybody just fucking left me, man. So, needless to say, I was a little pissed. Because I had to deal with all the customers. I had to do most of the cleaning. I was the only guy doing the grab and goes towards the end there. And there were plenty of grab and goes that were not filled. And yeah, that sucked. And it's fucking... We got no light here. So, this is just what it's gonna be. I turned up the brightness as much as I could, and that's what we got. So, man, I was a little pissed yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. And then I was talking about my coworker today. He's like, "You were the only one in the department? And there's supposed to be 3 people here, and you're the only one in the department." And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, what the hell? And then, so, here's the punchline, right? Because all of this happened, and I had to work my ass off yesterday, and I think my hands got worse because because I was sweating underneath my gloves. Which just reminded me, I did get my other gloves, right? Because I have my own gloves. I'm pretty sure I got them. Yeah, I did. But it makes it a pain to get them off and, like, clean the sweat off of my fucking hands because I'm wearing 2 sets of gloves to try and deal with my glove allergy, my latex allergy, I guess, or whatever, or potentially. And then, I was running around all yesterday, running like crazy, working my ass off, while my other coworker didn't really give a shit, and he just kept leaving and stuff. And, I got there today. I didn't realize there's a new schedule at first, because I wasn't sure if they put it up yet or not. So I just did some grab and goes beforehand, and then after I did the grab and goes, I was like, all right, well, now I know there's a new schedule, so I'm gonna go look at it. And still leaving at 9. Annoying. But specifically on Thursday, of all the days, they made me start 30 minutes later. So I am the one guy behind that counter while everybody else goes fucks off and does something else. And I'm the one who gets punished for it, essentially. It's like, what the fuck? Why do you not make that guy start fucking later? He doesn't fucking help me anyway. Make him start later. But no, they're just like, just cut 30 minutes out, and then now you can't get a lunch break. So that's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little a little pissed, but I'm just at the point where I feel like I've stopped giving a fuck, and all I care about is just finishing my job and then being done. And it's crazy, because I had so much passion for this job at the start, and the shit that has transpired over the past month has just made me go from being like, yeah, you know, I really love this job, to I fucking am getting really pissed off. I'm so fucking done with this shit, man. Nobody is working fucking hard, and they get rewarded. And then I'm just over here working insanely fucking hard, picking up people's slack, and they don't give a fuck. They're just like, give them less hours. So, I pretty much have made the decision to... I mean, I haven't fully made the decision yet, right? But I'm pretty convinced at this point that I'm probably just going back to school. Like, that's just gonna happen at this point. And it's sad to say, in a sense, because it was like, I kind of wanted to like this show. Oh, fuck, I put on the wrong thing. You're gonna hear a lot of air for a moment. Give it a second. There we go. Should be a little better now. But I've pretty much made the decision. I think I'm just gonna go back to school. I think that's the plan. I don't entirely know what I'm gonna do at school. I mean, I would assume I go back for computer science and take it seriously and do internships and all that. But like, what the fuck, man? the shit that has transpired in the past month has driven me crazy, man. And I just can't help but think, I can't do it, man. I can't keep doing this job. Not at the level that I am. And I was talking to the woman from bakery today. She was telling me that they cut her hours. She went from, I don't know, she told my coworker that she went from like 20 to like 12 hours. And she told me that she went from, I think, 18 to 14 or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he just misremembered. I don't know. But point is that like they just cut her hours more, which is insane, because they were already cutting hours like crazy. And she was saying she's trying to look into other stores that are part of the same union because she wants to, you know, get her pension before she retires. And she doesn't want to, you know, quit 2 years early. And on top of that, right, just also in bakery, there's another guy. He's been there for a while. He's always been a pretty cool guy. I always like talking to that guy. And they cut his hours like a lot. And because we had someone who wasn't there in bakery for a while. She was gone for like a couple months, and so he was picking up a lot of the slack. He was, you know, coming in a lot. They were asking him to come in. He was coming in. He would close a lot of nights. And then when she came back, they were putting him one day in the whole week for like 4 or 5 hours. And I was like, what the fuck, man? That is crazy. And he told me on Tuesday, because Tuesday is his day. He told me, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. Like, next week, after next week, that's it. And she told me today, he gave his 2 weeks notice. So, it's probably this week was one of his last day this week, and then, or his second to last day, and then next week is going to be his last day. And it's like, what the fuck? And she told me too that there were people that were like, hey, you know, if you want, I'll train to fill in this position. And they said no. So, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous, the shit that's going on. And then you have all this shit in Delhi where it's like, okay, yeah, just punish the guys that are working the hardest. And don't punish the people that are just talking and doing nothing, or leaving a bunch of times. Don't punish those people. Don't worry about that. Just punish the guys that are actually fucking doing the job, man. It's crazy. And they still are making me leave every single night an hour earlier than I used to. And I think that there was a hope that, like, it'll go back. I just don't see it, man. And I have a feeling that this probably isn't even going to be the worst of it. They're probably going to make it even worse, I would think. They might start doing the 2:30 to 9s again or some shit, or like 2:30 to 8 or something. Just start making me do 5-hour shifts on the regular 4-hour shifts, and like, okay, well, I guess I get the message. I guess you just want to push me out, sure. But I don't know. I want to stay because I want to get the insurance and just have it be something I do on the side while I'm doing school. That's it. But it's just it's depressing to see how much they have fucked me over, man. Or how much they've fucked people in general over. Like, nobody in the store is really happy right now. Nobody is really happy in the store. Other than this new part-timer that they brought back. And, you know, she's getting her hours. She, gets to take her time, do whatever. I didn't really have anything against her in the beginning, but just her general kind of attitude and work ethic, I'm just like, ooh. Like, it doesn't really seem like she wants to do that much work. Which I kind of get, because she's older, she's like, I think she's going to be, or is a grandmother, something like that. But it's also like, why would you bring her back if you can't really guarantee that she's gonna do a lot of work? And I think this week I am working 27 and a half hours, I think. But next week is what I'm worried about, because next week what's going to happen is, because the past 2 weeks, which is the cutting that's been going on the past 2 weeks, has been crazy, because we have a full-timer who has been on vacation for 2 weeks, and she comes back this next week, and so she's still not fully there yet. What happens when she is there every day? I feel like what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up having me come in 4 to 9 on, like, 4 days a week, and then that's it. Because they're going to be like, well, we have enough people in the morning, so we only really need you here at like 4 o'clock. And I'm just going to be like, wow, fuck me, I guess, huh? And, my other coworker at night, he's not going to fucking be happy about that if they're pushing me out. Because the way I see it, they're either going to push out the day shift guy, which I guess kind of makes sense because they just hired a full-timer in the day shift, or they're going to push me out. That's what I think. And I don't want either of those things, because I like the day shift guy too. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have learned a shitload of stuff. He kept teaching me and teaching me and teaching me. He taught me so much stuff. And sometimes he still teaches me stuff, like, sometimes, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. And they want to force one of us out, and it's stupid. Because you didn't have to hire this full-timer back, you could have just kept things the way they were, and things would have been fine. But it's no wonder why this company seemingly is struggling with money. Because when you make baffling decisions like, yeah, we have a bunch of full-timers already, and we have a manager and an assistant manager that are, full-time, right? And they're probably getting paid a pretty good amount. And then you have full-timers that are also making pretty good amount. And then you have part-timers. You know, probably not a smart thing. So, I don't know. I don't get it. And it's like, there's another, the place where my coworker he works at, he said the deli there is like 6 people in total, like including the manager. And it's like, during the day, they have like 1 guy in the kitchen and 1 guy in the deli, and that's it. And here they have like fucking 3 or 4 people in the morning. And it's like, yeah, maybe they don't do all the things that we do, but still, it's crazy. Why is it like that? So, with that, I think I'm going to end things here. I kind of wanted to make this shorter because, well, I may or may not have to get up for a 9 o'clock shift, and it's already 9:36, which means I gotta get going pretty soon because I gotta go get to bed. I gotta go eat something, get to bed, and wake up in the morning. So that's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I think it is kind of, it has been a good thing this month, even though it sucked to have this happen. It's like kind of a thing like where you have a relationship and, you know, your partner is just being fucking horrible to you, and it just feels like shit because it's like, man, I invested so much in this person, and now they're just treating me like shit, and now I'm like gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose this relationship, and it sucks. But you also kind of have a realization, right? Where it's like, well, this is what this person thought of me. So yeah, it sucks. But on the other hand, I think that it was probably for the best, knowing what this person thought of me. And it's like the same thing. It sucks that this company I was very loyal to, I was working my hardest for, I was coming in every single time they asked me, like, hey, can you come in today? I literally told them, yeah, you know, I'm in a whole different county and I'm like an hour away, but yeah, I can come in a little later. I'll try to get there if I can. And fucking do everything in a 4-hour shift. And they really just fucked me over, despite me being that loyal to them. And I'm just thinking now, like, it's fucking frustrating. I poured so much into this company, and they just kind of told me to go fuck myself, and that in their eyes I'm not that valuable, and they would just rather cut me and not let me finish the job that I usually would do. And so that sucks. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, you know, at least now I know that this company doesn't give a fuck about me, and I don't have to give a fuck about them anymore. And the thing I was always thinking about, like pretty much almost ever since I started, was thinking I'm gonna have to leave this place at some point. And, you know, if I want to go back to school, for example, I'm not gonna be able to do this and school. It's just not happening. I'm not gonna be able to do 30, 40-hour weeks and school. So the reality is, I was gonna have to leave at some point, or take reduced hours or whatever, and that always felt like a difficult decision to make. Now it doesn't feel that difficult, because now I'm like, well, they're giving me reduced hours anyway, so fuck it, man. If you don't value me, I'll go elsewhere. I'll go do bigger and better things. So, take that. And with that, I'm going to finally start heading home now because I gotta get home and do stuff for tomorrow. But yeah, it's kind of brutal to have to go through that shit, but I feel like it is a good thing in the long run. And I personally feel like I am kind of glad that it happened because now I know that they don't give a shit about me, man. Despite everything that I poured into this, I know they do not give a fuck about me. So, whatever. I will just, I'll just go do something else, and then they're gonna be like, man, remember when Teddy was here and he would do all these grab and goes and he would clean the slicers so fucking well, and he would, you know, he would clean it, because, man, this woman, she does not clean the cheese slicer like at all, and the fucking bottom of the blade gets fucking horrible, man. It gets horrible if you do not clean it, and it becomes really hard to slice, and she never fucking cleans it. And I asked her yesterday, I was like, hey, you know, did you notice the cheese slicer slicing a little better? I wanted to ask. And she was like, no, it's still horrible. It's like, oh, I just sharpened it on Tuesday. But like, I could tell when I was slicing after I got the fucking cheese off, because she never does that. I got the cheese off and I was like, it's definitely much better than it was. I sharpened the shit out of that thing. But it makes me think, like, why do I even bother sharpening it? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody's like, hey man, thanks for sharpening it. You know, that was good. No, nobody gives a fuck. Fuck them. I'm not gonna take extra time to sharpen it anymore. The only reason that I would conceivably do that is to, you know, to help the customers, I guess, to make things better for the customers. But I don't know, it seems like nobody gives a fuck about customers, to be honest, except for like me and, you know, some of my other coworkers that do actually care about the customers. So it's like, great. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Whatever. That's where I'm at. I'm just not gonna care about the job anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a better update or something at some point. Or maybe I can kind of turn the CD video into that. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I gotta get going because I gotta get some sleep because I'm probably waking up at like 7 o'clock tomorrow. So that's gonna be fun. I have to be, like, it's crazy. It's like I leave the deli at 9 o'clock and I have to be back at 9 o'clock. It's like, fuck. 12 hours. Sucks. Alright, well, yeah, I guess that's it.